can find a better approach if you follow this name.
So you're saying 𝗏𝗺𝗀 is Chinese? It was used by Netflix when they were trying to expand their global teams. How they can grow different global teams with different team members in different countries. Who's Akash? Okay.
Welcome to a new ad hoc session. Today we have Nandini all the way from Japan. Nandini is a very old student of ours. We met in the first cohort when she was working in India, and over time I think at some point she found a job over there. She'll share more about her journey, but now she works out of Tokyo. She's here for 2 weeks and thankfully she's graced us with her presence for a talk around in case you want to go to Japan. And basically her journey and what kind of hiring happens in Japan, the kind of visas, should you know Japanese, where should you learn Japanese from, a bunch of other things. With that, I'll hand it over to Nandini. Nandini, over to you. These are mostly school and Super 30 students. Super 30 students are probably more actionable to get placed in the next 6 months. So you can take the talk around that, right? Nandini, everyone.
Hi. I see 3 girls who are busy. Nice. Okay, hi everyone. Hi. I'm Nandini and I'm a software engineer in Tokyo since last year. So past 1 year has been about working in Tokyo and navigating between Japanese and English and working on projects with global teams where there are no other Indian people. It's just me in my company. So there was a lot of changes in the way I communicate too. बात करने का तरीका मेरा एकदम बदल गया था वहाँ पे. और so past 1 year has been about working on projects in my company. My company's product is a Japanese product. I work on a credit card product which has only Japanese customers. So we have to sort of work in that way. And so that's not all I did. I did some more things too, which I'll share with you in the upcoming slides. I did not prepare the visa details and all, but feel free to ask any questions on any slide because, to be honest, I'm not prepared for this talk. I've not given a talk like this. So it will be good if you ask all the questions because I want to share all the details that I can with you. I don't want to forget about anything क्योंकि इसके बाद पता नहीं कब आना होगा क्या होगा, तो फिर जो भी पूछना है आज ही पूछ लो. It will help you. I'm also Sakura Science Club coordinator since 2017. Sakura Science Club is a very strong community of India's smartest minds, and this club is created by Japan, and they have a lot of scholarships and a lot of programs that help especially science students to come to Japan for free and work for there, spend time over there, make great connections. And they've stayed connected with me since 8 years now. And because of them, I know a lot of people in Japan and they help me go through a lot of things. And that's the main reason why I'm in India. I'm not here for Diwali. I'm here for this event that happened yesterday in IIT Delhi. It was a Sakura Science Club alumni meet because every year they take a lot of people to Japan and all of those people are still connected, and I'm basically the alumni coordinator, so I get to talk to all the cool people. And I'm also a 100xDevs community member since 2023. In 2023, I was already doing my first job. I was almost 1 year into my first job. I used to work at a US-based startup in Bangalore. So I was not a student when I joined cohort 1. I was not a student, so I'll talk about this more, but basically more than the cohort, I was interested in the success stories of the people that the team put out there. And in 2023, I went to the meetup and I used to watch everything. I've been following 100xDevs content since 2023. Oh, do you have any questions? Yes.
If someone
For that, I have a YouTube channel. There's a YouTube channel called the India Sakura Science Club Alumni Association, which is governed by the alumni. So we have all the details over there. It's an interesting question because there's no direct, you don't apply for it. You don't apply. ऐसे apply करके नहीं जा सकते. You have to have a good connection in Japan who's willing to host you. So that's what they care about. Your effort in creating that connection matters because they're very open to bringing you. This is a fully funded thing. They're very open to bringing you. It's just they want your effort to reach out to a professor in Japan and they invite you. And so people do it in very different ways. We have a lot of colleges in Noida who have stayed connected with this Sakura Science Club for more than 5 years. So they send people every year. So we can make it happen here too. It's just a matter of time that you impress a Japanese professor and then you learn how to stay connected with them, and then you can send people over there because they send around 350 Indian students, like सिर्फ 350 ही होते हैं पूरे साल में every year. You can be one of them. Oh, so there are two programs. There's a high school program and a university program. I went through the high school program क्योंकि मेरे school principal के अच्छे connections थे with a Japanese professor. He used to speak Hindi. तो उन्होंने साथ में हिंदी पढ़ी थी, इसलिए उनके अच्छे connection थे. And उसमें 10 students were selected and I was also selected to go over there. So it was a high school program. But college का program अलग होता है. You have to connect through research projects or just basic interest, because I've seen a lot of stories which I have put on that YouTube channel that helps, and there are a lot of stories that are not out there that I'm working on putting out there, so these will help a lot. But basically ये कि if you can create a connection in your own way, then you're there. Good question. Anything else?
Does Japanese language required?
Yeah, oh my god. Okay, so recently when I was hired in September or October last year. At that time they didn't really have that requirement. Every company was like किसी को भी ले लो, English आती है ना ले लो. But अब आजकल since past 6 months there's been a drastic change in all of the companies over there. There's been a hiring freeze first of all, or second thing is they're only hiring people who know how to speak in Japanese, or if you are very experienced and your skill exactly aligns with what they want. तो आजकल तो ये चल रहा है, but things can change. So I referred a few people 6 months ago and they have an interview now. So it is happening. 6 months ago वाले लोगों का रेफरल अभी चल रहा है, but अभी recently तो freeze हो गया थोड़ा सा. So you should keep trying, you should keep asking for referrals, because even if the online job portal has turned off, वो internal उनका चलता रहता है. So that's one advice that I would give you.
How does one learn Japanese? What's the resource?
Oh, so my team member who's learning Japanese on his own, he bought a book, Minna no Nihongo. That's one book.
Can you repeat the name?
Minna no Nihongo. So that's one book. And इसके अलावा you have to, so Hindi and Japanese have the same type of sentence formations. The way you make Hindi sentences, you make Japanese sentences in the same way. So once you start learning as basics, you'll be able, you just have to practice on your own to make the sentences. Because I've learned Japanese for 6 months, but I'm really bad at speaking. I can understand a couple of things, but I didn't really attempt on making an effort on how to make sentences, which I have to do, but I haven't done that yet. Japanese, you can use books, use online free resources on YouTube, or take a school, like join a school. वहाँ पे Japanese school होते हैं, because if you want to learn how to write and read and speak, then you should join a school. Or I only want to learn how to speak, so I took a private tutor who is Japanese, who can speak in Hindi and in English. So he has learned Hindi on his own. So I thought that, okay, this Japanese guy learned Hindi, I can also learn Japanese then. And he learned Hindi in 6 months, but it's difficult. Japanese is muzukashi, it's difficult. Any other question? Nice. Okay. Oh yeah, I would like to start this with one question. Who's your favorite 100x Steps member and why? I'm sure because we watch all the videos. I watch all the videos at least. So I had my favorite ever since cohort 1, my favorite. And so I want to know what's the vibe here, what's the consensus, who do you like and why? And why? Okay. One reason is 𝗏𝗺𝗀𝗀 because he gives referrals. Any other?
He teaches very well. He teaches in best way.
We like how we teach.
𝗏𝗺𝗀𝗀 gives referrals and you like how he teaches, so he's your favorite. Anybody else?
He teaches both technologies also.
Okay, 𝗏𝗺𝗀𝗀 की तारीफें नहीं करनी है इतनी. कोई और? कोई और? I want another name now. I got your points about 𝗏𝗺𝗀𝗀. I've registered them. We'll take them later. Ah.
Because he calmly understands the problem and give a solution.
Who?
Rahul.
Who's Rahul Gujjar? Oh, nice. Okay, Rahul Gujjar. Because he
He calmly understands the problem and give appropriate solutions.
he calmly understands the problem and gives you the solution. Nice points. Okay. तो 2 favorites अभी बस. अच्छा, 2025 के ये है क्या? That's it? और किसी का कोई favorite नहीं है?
Yes.
यश? यश कौन है? यश? Hi. Why?
Because of him, I have.
Okay.
उनकी सुपर 31 की ट्रेजेक्टरी से होप मिलती है.
Oh, that's nice. Okay. So he brought you here and उनकी journey से hope मिलती है. Okay, 3 is enough. अगर किसी और को कोई और points.
Akash bhi hai.
Who's Akash? Okay. Why?
So when you ask some questions, you know very well internals of that topic, and he does help in that to make decisions.
Okay, when you ask him questions, he gives very good internals of the topic and
How to implement the
solution. Okay. तो ये तो यहीं बैठे हैं, ठीक है, मतलब सही है. Very, you have a offline bias and I have a online bias. That's one difference. ठीक है, क्योंकि मैं तो online ही देखती हूँ. It was good to know about all of your mindsets and especially the reason why you like them, but we'll take that later. Oh yeah, so this is my background. I did not go to the best college, but it made me realize that I always have to do more. I found a good group. Have you guys found your good groups? नहीं मिले? Okay, you'll find a good group. After joining the company, it's a different vibe. हाँ, I did find a good group, but finding a good group in college is very different than actually working in a team. When you're in college, you see each other eye to eye. When guys and girls are working together, they see each other eye to eye. They're very competitive. We're winning together. We feel so good. Oh wow! And then when you join the company, it's a different vibe because nobody is going to give you anything that you have not earned. So you have to show that you can take responsibility of the things that are relied upon you. So that's one big difference that I felt, that even after finding a good group in college, joining the company and working in a team is a whole another story. So that's one heads up, especially to you three. Nobody is going to give you anything that you have not earned. I was placed in a global startup which had small global teams. So my startup was in Bangalore. I was in the India team, but our products had global teams. So if I had my product, my team members were from US, China. China members were really good. I'm really happy that I got to experience working with the China members right from the beginning. And Albania, Europe, Japan, US. So I had a very diverse group of people that I was working with since the beginning. So it was crazy. I don't think I did not, more than coding, I learned other things. I learned that there are so many different types of people in the world और सबके साथ handle कैसे करना चाहिए, and I learned how I don't want to lead my life. तो उसी चक्कर में I just found people who would work on the same projects as me. ऐसा नहीं होता था कि मुझे project बनाना है, कौन कौन बनाएगा, nothing like that. I would go up to people and share that I'm working on this because I did my AI and ML specialization in AI and ML. So I would go up to people and tell them that this is what I made on Kaggle. Kaggle बहुत चलता था उस time पे. I used to make notebooks on Kaggle and they would get upvoted and we would compete on that. So I kind of found my good group by competing with my classmates on Kaggle, and we would fight over who's got the gold rank and the silver rank, and that's how we became a good group by being competitive. Have you found your competitive good group?
I'm finding in the process.
कितना टाइम हो गया यहाँ पे? 2 months. I'm judging everyone. Okay. Oh, any other questions? Cool. In my first startup, I would not be scared to take up the difficult tasks that nobody would pick up. And I ended up having a documentation on our main website. So India team was pretty new in my first startup, and people would want to work on, I was a full stack engineer, I am still a full stack engineer, so people would like to work on backend or front end tasks but not on the DevOps task. And so there was a task that came directly from the product owner from the US, which nobody would want to pick up, but I was really bored, so I said I'll take it. And I took it and I completed it without any help. So that's a really good point. Are you able to do the task that's assigned to you without making others' life a pain? I would not be dependent on anyone to complete that task. It's just that I would get things done, and that's one thing that everybody really liked. So they ended up so I deployed our instance on Kubernetes, which had never been done before, but a lot of our customers were asking for it. Our customers used to do it, but we did not have any engineer who had done it and tested around it and had a documentation up on our website. So that's what I did. So we have a documentation on our main website. And that really helps me in my profile, because every time in every interview, the thing that catches the eye the most is this thing. They're really impressed by it. So don't be afraid to take difficult tasks. If your team members don't know how to do it, ऐसा कुछ है नहीं कि सबको सब कुछ आना चाहिए. You can do anything by Googling. And yeah, any questions? Okay,
What was your approach to tackle that task?
Oh yeah, at first my manager was like, are you sure you can do it? I said, yeah, of course. And I just needed to get the details of the task which the product owner from the US had already given to me. After those details, I just had to experiment how deployment works. It was my first time using Kubernetes, so it was a learning experience, it was a challenging experience, it was a fun experience, and nobody around me really knew how to do it. There was only one DevOps engineer a senior DevOps engineer who could review my stuff. So it was just me working on my stuff and him reviewing it, which made sure that I was able to do things right. So I think I was able to do it with least intervention from other people and just get the details, start working on it, get it reviewed, voila. इससे ज़्यादा तो नहीं होता है कुछ. Okay. Any other question? I've had a lot of exposure at my startup, the first startup, the place that I used to work at in Bangalore, but I wasn't able to fully utilize everything I learned over there. I need to do more. So I really felt that I have so much on my plate, but I'm really doing less with it. So that's why I was really attracted to this community and the success stories, because I was able to see them do so many things in an ad hoc way, and they're not just in their bubble of one company, they're out there. And so after I realized this, that I need to do more, I started going out. Like Bangalore is the place for engineers and product owners and startups. So I began to take interest, keyboard ganda ho raha hai. I began to take interest in those angles of Bangalore, on how to talk to people, what's happening, what's going out there, to just see what I can do. I still don't know what I want to do with my life. I'm still collecting a lot of data. So that was my threshold point to realize that I need to do more. I've already seen too much, and this is not my full potential. Any questions? You can ask, what kind of exposure did you have? I think my favorite kind of exposure was just working with global teams. Once you observe how China team works, plus how US team works, a Europe team works, and a Japan team works, you kind of start observing these different patterns. And you kind of start seeing yourself in those places too. What if I was there in that team? What if I was there in the China team? And how does China team even think? Because a China team was the core team which had all the ownership of all the engineering products. So why do they have it? What is it that they are doing that we can't do? So I would think about all those things, which I think is a good exposure. I hope everybody gets to work in a global team. It's a really good start in your career. So I would suggest, if you can go for it, try to make sure that you can get in a global team. Yeah, so when I was trying to switch my job, I applied everywhere, not just in Japan, and I found myself not making it in the final rounds of Indian companies, but I was openly accepted by global teams. In the Indian companies, I would get rejected in the last round, which is the managerial round, which is just like a vibe check round. The manager gets to decide if this is the person I want to work with. So I was failing the vibe, but I found myself not putting in a lot of effort in global teams and just getting in there. So this happened 3 times. I only applied in one Japanese company and got into it. They were really fast with all the interviews, and it went really smoothly. It was really smooth. Plus 2 US startups. So I applied in the Japanese company, but the 2 US startups reached out to me, and even they were really quick to just get the offer in one day. One startup is a YC startup and the other one is a non-YC startup, but the other one is like the founders. One founder is from Harvard and the other one has worked in US for 2 decades, a FANG engineer. So they both were trying to make something, and they were really quick in sending out an offer. So getting reached out like that, and getting in with the skills that I have right now and not having to not be myself, I was just being myself, really made me realize that you might be the right fit somewhere else. You don't have to be the right fit everywhere. Any questions?
Firstly, really happy to have you on our campus.
Thank you.
Engineer plus a girl engineer.
Girl engineer, thank you.
The main question is, यहाँ पे देखते ही स्टार्टअप से रिलेटेड इट कम्स कि इंडियन स्टार्टअप्स या इंडियन कंपनीज में आपको एक्सेप्शन हुआ लास्ट राउंड में. Is it related to anything to do with being a girl? क्योंकि इजीली कोई रिलाई नहीं करता. स्टार्टअप्स पे एक इंजीनियर होता है जिसके ऊपर सारी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी होती है. You have to complete a project end to end. कुछ भी break हुआ तो you are responsible. तो do startup founders really like believe in girls कि इनको ये दे दो task?
Yeah, startup founders do, but MNCs are a bit weird. This is what I've observed. Because MNCs have these managers trying to make a team, but startup founders just want to get things done. So startup founders want results quickly. Oh, good question. So in these 2 US startups, when as soon as I was reached out, within 1 hour, I said, okay, let's go, let's do an interview. You can hire me. So they really liked that. They don't like to waste time. So as soon as I said that, okay, let's interview, and we interviewed, and then I got in, and then I started working. So I think that's a good point. So what else? What did you say?
How to prove your ability?
Oh, you should be prepared to answer any questions that are thrown at you. For example, if there's a project coming in and they have yet to decide who is going to lead the project, why would I give you a project and not this person? The only reason would be, are you more prepared than him? And it takes a lot of mental effort to think about all the requirements. That's one thing. But all the questions that the person who's going to assign that project to you is going to have. So that's how you get the reliability on the project. And that also happens if you have a good rapport of getting things done in the past. So sometimes it happens slowly, sometimes it happens because you're more prepared than the other person. And you're not afraid to take space. Sometimes people speak really fast and they think that that's how they're going to dominate a conversation. But that's what I've observed. But you can just focus and show that you can be calm, like somebody here who was very calm, and you can just have an evolving conversation around the project that's going to be assigned to you, and you're going to make it and it's going to get sold, because you're making projects to sell them. So it's a lot of money that's on your shoulders basically. कोई और क्वेश्चन था क्या, मैंने मिस कर दिया? हाँ, and in all of these places, even in the startup in Bangalore, I never found that my points are not being taken. I was given a feedback कि सुना ज़्यादा करो, बोला कम करो, but that's not how it works. You should be able to talk with your team to form a solution. This will come up in the upcoming slides because it's actually a study. This is a study because this just happens in India. And it was used by Netflix when they were trying to expand their global teams. So they used that study to see how they can grow different global teams with different team members in different countries. So that actually really helped me to just see it as not a, I don't take it personally. It's not personal. It's just there. and it's up to you if you want it. If you can take it and it's your work style, then you accept it. Otherwise, you find ways to work in your own work style. I would always put up all the points in my Bangalore startup, which was an Indian team, and they were all taken. That's why I was assigned a task directly from the product owner from US, because I would speak, take up space, say anything that helps the product. Right now, what we're doing right now, I'm asking you if you have any questions at the end of every slide. Why? Because I just opened it today for the first time. I don't know if I have all the details in my mind to tell you all. That's why if you're in a room and you're in a room of a global team and you've just gotten a project, nobody has context. You have to sit and build context together. For that, you need to ask questions like you guys are asking, so that we can build context on this stuff and not miss out on anything and get my thoughts out of me. You're prompting me. Okay? Cool.
Can you elaborate more about the workings of the Chinese team?
Oh, yeah. So the China team, I have always worked with the China team. They've always reviewed my PRs, and I still have Chinese members in my team. I've always found them to be more approachable. I can approach them about anything. Before speaking, they're already too prepared, and they think out loud a lot. Some members could speak English and others couldn't. So they would have one spokesperson who would speak on their behalf, but they would constantly think out loud, be completely prepared. It's like they already know what to do and they're dominating you to take their lead, is what I've observed.
This kind of reminds me of King. That's how
Really?
he works. Yeah, he thinks out loud and knows what to say.
How?
For every project video he does, he thinks out loud for the problem. For every super learning class, he thinks out loud. He is very approachable. Like if you question him on any approach he has made, he is quick to take a step back, say that he might be wrong, and there might be a better approach you can think about. And he guides you in a way like you can find a better approach if you follow his lead.
So you're saying Harkirat is Chinese?
He might secretly be.
He has given this community communism point out.
Good to know.
What do you think is fundamentally different in Chinese devs than normal devs?
Oh, funnily, I have not worked with Chinese female engineers.
No, I said fundamentally.
Yeah.
what is-
Yeah, fundamentally, but that's how my just thought started. Fundamentally, it's the thing, it's how we're brought up. We're brought up differently. Chinese schools are the most aggressive schools in the world. They study from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I have a Chinese team member who's double Ivy grad, Harvard and Cornell, and she said that I find Harvard and Cornell way easier than Chinese universities. That's why I was able to get into them. So it's just they're being put into a lot of pressure since a really young age. So we're just brought up differently. That's why the way they express themselves and the way they communicate, they know that they can take the stage, they can take the floor. It's all theirs. ऐसा मैं थोड़ा पानी पी लेती हूँ तब तक. कोई questions? Have you started interviewing? So you all have been here for 2 months. 1 month, 1.5 months. And this is Super 30. Okay.
Like school began on 11th of August and Super 30 began on 2024.
Okay. I would suggest starting open source this early would be really good because you get to interact with global members. And that's the only way in that I can think about, that without placement I would have had exposure to global teams. This is how I would do it. And get your PRs merged, listen to how they communicate, get things done, and try to do open source, not with just GSOC. I cannot do GSOC. I'm not a GSOC person, but I can still do open source work. So yeah, try to do that. Find a project of your interest, not only from the GSOC website again, but from Twitter. Having an active Twitter profile keeps you in eyes of founders who are always looking for open source contributions. Oh, funny story. So in 2023, there were 2 meetups, one in Bangalore, one in Delhi. Delhi meetup was live streamed, and I just heard this term Langfuse. I still don't know what they do, but I just followed Langfuse on Twitter, and competitors of Langfuse ended up contacting me for open source contributions. So I contributed a little bit 2 years ago, and now I'm doing it again. So
show us your GitHub.
no.
Contribution.
They can check them out for themselves.
They won't be able to guess the username.
So GSOC is not the only way to open source. Hear these words. Again, isko kya bolenge, butterfly effect. I just heard that word, I followed them, and then the other person reached out and I was able to contribute. And so I tried to contribute 2 years ago, but this time it was really different because I have learned a lot of things in these 2 years from the 2 places that I worked at. If I would not have learned all of those things, I don't think I would have able to maintain the relationship that I have right now with the open source maintainers. I'm also a maintainer in that repository. It has more than 20,000 stars. So there's always hope. Working in global teams defined a new normal for me, honestly. Oh, how 100x devs helped me. This is going to pivot towards the whole 100x devs area. So if you have any questions about my background up until now, you can ask them. Yeah.
What is design thinking?
Acha, that's in my profile. That's in my Twitter profile. So I find myself doing more tasks in the front end more than in back end. That's just how I learned how to do things. I sort of have a task-based learning mechanism. So whatever is assigned to me, I'll do it, and that's how I learn about it. And coincidentally, I've only had more front-end tasks than back-end tasks. So I was really interested in how front-end works, how you should think about the design, and then all of a sudden, when I was exploring all of that, a lot of profiles on Twitter started posting about what's the best way to keep customer retention using UX strategies. So it's just one thing that I'm interested in. I'm still trying to explore it. I'm not a design thinking expert, but the idea is to think more in a more UX wise, not be a front-end engineer or a full-stack engineer, but be a product engineer. So think about doing things on the product as a product engineer and not just, oh, I'm a React engineer, oh, I'm a backend engineer. But what is good for the product? How should I design it that it is good for the product? So this is like absolving all the layers above me. I'm a low-level employee, right? I'm just a full-stack engineer. I have a product lead above me who has another program manager above them, who has a sales team member above them. So that's how an MNC layers work. But when you're in a startup, you get to do everything. That's my take on that. Anything else?
If you like get the full context of it and think about the whole thing and then like
Yeah. So it's like you're building stuff to sell it. So you're thinking it in a product way and not just how should I code it in the best way. So not an architect, but a product engineer. Very confusing, I know, because it's a design thinking concept. Okay. Anything else?
How is the culture in Japan?
Oh, okay, wow. So culture in Japan is pretty cool if you're in a global team. So my global team is in a Japanese company. So they have global team values plus Japanese values. So that's like a cherry on the top because they only care about getting things done. They make sure that everybody, actually I have it in the upcoming slides too. They make sure that everybody on the table gets heard out and you're able to give your honest opinion on things. There's a lot of transparency. You know about everything. It's almost like they're oversharing. And they really focus on growing you. I don't have to focus on oh mera promotion kab hoga, but as soon as they see that I've done all the things in their checklist, they're like, you're good to go, you're good to grow more. So that's one thing that I really liked because in the previous places I haven't observed focus on making sure that you grow faster. It's like a timeline that you need to fulfill, but there's no timeline over there. As soon as you get things done, you get to grow. And it's pretty chill. If you overwork, it's not legally allowed to overwork, but people like to do it. So that's the kind of environment that they have. Even if it's illegal to do overtime, people like working. Pretty chill. There are some other companies who have been there for more than 100 years. So those Japanese companies have old Japanese strict culture that you cannot, one example is that I get to hear a lot is, you cannot leave before your manager leaves the office. So it's stuff like that in those Japanese companies, but japandev.com is how I found my job. They make sure that they only keep the good culture companies. So you can also find good culture companies over there. Anything else?
You also mentioned that you have expertise in AI and ML and you are quite active in Kaggle also. So why are you still in the role of full stack and didn't think of switching?
My degree was like BTech in computer science with specialization in AI and ML back in 2022, and I did have projects on that too. I wanted to get into a AI/ML role. I applied in a lot of places. I did not want to rely on my placements. So at that time, we didn't really have a lot of ML engineer roles. I did interview for one ML engineer role, and they needed more math algorithm. But I was more about how it is right now, making projects with AI. I was more into that. So at that time, I just couldn't find it, and I don't even, at that time, in college, the only things that I picked up on my own were mobile development and AI and ML. So making notebooks, training models, mobile development, maybe a little bit of React. But I ended up getting a role as a web developer, full stack engineer. So completely different. It was really hard because this was something that I had not picked up by myself, but was given to me, do this. So that was also something, it was really weird, but I got through it. That's the reason why I didn't get into an AI/ML role back then. Right now, I think like I have so much context on React and mainly React, and other full stack technologies that I want to see what can I do of this. I don't think I've made the most of this knowledge first. If I do that, I can start going towards AI, but the open source contributions that I make is for an AI startup. I think I'm getting there. I'm doing good, right? So that was a good question.
And what are your views on AI opportunities in Japan?
Oh. AI opportunities in Japan. Japan is really open to trying all the AI tools. We have access to each and everything, and they are literally forced on us. They want us to try each and everything, but it's really hard to integrate an AI feature in their product. Japan's products are really traditional. I don't think they've figured out a way to put AI. They try to do it, they try to market it like that, but I personally haven't seen any product that has AI integrated in them or any AI engineer roles either. Okay, any other questions? How 100x steps helped me? Like I said, when I joined cohort 1, I was more inclined towards the success stories of the people who were brought up on the channel, and I interacted with them and got to know about their quirks and skills. So I had a really observant approach. In cohort 1, I think I have interacted with everyone who has ever been brought up in the YouTube channel, and it's really nice to learn in that way. Like, how did they get what I wanted to get? That's what I wanted to know. And everybody would have a very different answer. So it's their unique quirks and skills that would keep me interested in going towards the things that I want to get. And I would suggest you talk to more people. I mean, this is one approach. You're also interacting with a lot of people, especially offline. I think you can, do you interact with people online who are not on the campus but have been brought up? You do? You don't? So yeah, don't restrict yourself. I think it could be, the reason could be that at that time it was really fresh. Right now you have other avenues to get information from. I don't know, but this is what helped me the most, just talking to the people with success stories and making connections that I still have. I made really good friends from cohort 1. I still love to talk to them, and they have amazing growth trajectories. Everybody is so passionate about the things that they're doing. They have their own niche, and one common trait between all of them is they don't want to waste any time. They're really mindful of the 24 hours that they have in their day. That's why I love to talk to them. And in Bangalore, 100x Devs community is the only community where I found people that have the same mindset as me. So that was also really good. Are you observing people? It's just the beginning, so I don't know. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know anything about communication skills or networking. I remember I used to ask my entrepreneur friend, what is networking? And he said, it's just talking to people. So I did start by going out in random meetups and talking to people, but I couldn't really understand what networking is or what communication skills is. But it's basically, you know what your interest is, and you find a person who's also interested in the same thing, and then you just end up having meaningful conversations on that end up giving returns that you would have never expected you would have gotten without talking to them. So that's what's it. Are you also doubtful about like what are communication skills, what's networking? Yes? It starts with taking a shower. I can see a lot of people have not showered here. Okay. I think if it was Bangalore, it would be different. It's just that it's Noida. And Noida has its own, oh, actually no, okay, another story. So my brother is a iOS engineer in Zomato, and he did not get it in the traditional way by applying online or by getting a referral, but he actually went to a meetup. He went to a meetup which was by Google and Zomato, so they had collaborated together, and in that secret meetup they had this secret job portal where they were saying that we will take your interviews, you can apply. That's how he got in. So I think Noida and Delhi communities are also doing really good. You should go over there, and you never know, you get an interview that's not online, but you only get to see it offline. So don't hesitate to go out and leave this building after a shower. Yeah, focus, create your filter, create your work style. This is what I'm going to talk about in the upcoming slides. So if you have any other questions, you can ask me. I think my brother's story was pretty interesting because he is also not from the best college, and he really struggled interviewing, just even getting interviews for web developer roles. But iOS engineer field doesn't have a lot of competition because you have to have a Mac to build stuff. So that's also a good trick. If you're interested in mobile development, that's one way to go. Any questions? Picking one thing and focusing on it really helps. For me, it's React. When I started learning React back in college, I didn't like it, but right now, it's the thing that helps me the most and keeps me the most interested, and accidentally, I have a lot of context on it. So I am learning, as a full stack engineer, you learn so many things on the side. But there is one interest that will anchor you towards your learnings that you do on your own, out of your own time and out of your own interest, and not because it was assigned to you. For me, it's React, and at first I thought it's not enough. But turns out right now it is. Doesn't hurt. It's really good. So you will always keep learning a lot of things on the side, but try to keep on adding incremental information on at least one thing, one topic. Using React, I could do open source contributions. Any questions? Do you think that React is a good way to go for you? No idea? थक गए? Yeah, this is about creating a filter. Eventually, I was able to know the type of people and environment I want to surround myself with to show my best work. So, I don't like restrictions on myself. For example, I want to wear what I want to wear because you're taking away extra 10 minutes in the morning from me by making me forced to think about your dressing code in the office. So that's one thing for me. That's my criteria. I like to think out loud. That's another criteria. So with time, you'll be able to tailor your own personal preference on the type of people that you want to work with. My type of people are global team members, and my type of environment is where you are treated as a mini founder. Like, this is my product, you're the mini founder, you tell me what to do with it. I'm not going to tell you what I want. That's the kind of approach that my manager has with me, and I love it. That's how I can show my best work. And because of this, after a while, I don't even feel like I'm consumed by work. I just feel like I'm enjoying. Culture map. Do you have any questions before the culture map? Culture map. So this is the thing that I was talking about. This is a study this is one of the graphs from the study by Netflix when they were focusing on how to grow their global teams. And you can see that Japan on the deciding bar is way on the right. And other countries like Korea, India and China are over there. I want to talk about only the deciding bar. And this is actually true. So for India, China and Korea, it's like what your manager tells you to do, you have to do it, no questions asked. But in Japan, it's a mutual discussion. There's no hierarchy. Everybody is assumed to be asking a good question. So this is a difference that I felt personally when I was moved to Japan from here. This exists everywhere. Oh, story time. My manager left the company recently, and he was one of the guys who hired me. He was in the interviewing panel. And I asked him, why did he hire me? He told me that he rejected a lot of people and he only hired 3 people at that time. And all of them are really nice. That's the first thing that he said. Really nice. So global team members don't want to deal with your the global team members weigh a lot of acceptance in the niceness of a person. So it helps if you're nice to talk to. And then he said they are able to think around different approaches and have an evolving conversation. So during an interview, you will be asked to solve a problem. You solve it in your own way. Then you will be given 3 or more other approaches by the person who's interviewing you. What about this approach? What about that approach? Some people end up getting irritated by those questions. And either they reject it or they refuse to talk about it. But that's not how global teams work. Global teams have people coming from different countries who have different cultures, like I just showed you on the culture map, but they don't get to bring that whole culture to the table. They only get to bring their potential and their skills to the work. So this is the most deciding factor in Japanese companies. In global teams in Japanese companies, if you come in as an intern, so they bring you in as an intern and they see if you're able to talk to everybody, because you have to talk to different kinds of people. Everybody is different. Are you able to have different approaches and have an evolving conversation on it? Because literally you're sitting on a table, you're starting to work on a product. The table has people from different nationalities. You have native English speakers, you have other people who are not from Japan, who are not native English speakers like me, and you get to have Japanese people who don't understand English, Japanese people who understand English, and somehow you all have to sit together and build that project. So that's why this is the most weighted part. And as an intern, if you're able to show that you can talk to everyone, then you get in. Otherwise, even if you have a lot of technical skills and you can write the best code, but you're not able to put your point across, people around you don't trust you, so you won't get in. So internship is kind of a culture fit round, a 3-month culture fit round that you're supposed to pass. Oh, and he also said the interviews went very smoothly. So because of my experience in Bangalore, I sort of know how different people from different nationalities talk. Not everybody has the standard American sitcom accent that we all grew up watching. We expect the pronunciation to be in that way, but they all speak very differently. So I kind of picked up that Chinese members talk like this, Japanese members talk like this. And I did not show that I don't understand them in one go. That's why the interviews went smoothly, and that was the thing that I had. I hope this helps, because I literally asked him for you guys. Okay? Okay. Yeah, once I was exposed to so many things at the same time, I knew I could do better with it in the way that I want. And the main thing that I found from that exposure is the kind of work style that I like to work in. Oh, my answer about my favorites in 100x devs. I think Rahul is one of my favorites, and because he was one of the first people who was brought up on the channel. And so I have a lot of favorites. These are the common traits that I found in them, who are able to get what I want, and these are the qualities that I noticed in them. They're easy to speak to, they can focus, and they don't get emotional or upset. So in a Bangalore startup who had 100K CTC, I have a friend over there, and I asked him, why don't you have any female engineers? Why don't you work with any female engineers? And his answer was that we have females, we have a product manager, program manager. I said, what about engineers? And he said, I don't want to make them upset by saying something wrong. So that's a big thing if it's coming out of him, who's at a position to hire somebody at such a good role. So by that, you understand that what their expectations are and what problems they face, and how to make sure that we don't make those problems. Oh, you all took a big risk. This is a big risk. I'm rooting for you all. Thank you, that's all.
All right. Thank you, Nandini, for taking up the time. If you guys have more questions, we'll be hanging around here, but we'll move on to the next talk by Rahul. Rahul, again, I think one of the first people brought up the channel. Back then, I think he still had a very good offer, like 40 LP or something in a DevOps role. Then he transited to a different company where he's currently working. If he doesn't have slides, he wants to keep it fairly ad hoc, ask whatever you want. Okay. Two ways with that. Over to you, Rahul. Please welcome Rahul. Mic.